I feel a connection with all waters, and the Fraser is the water here that I feel connected with. I'm the director of the Grand County Water Information Network, and our mission is water monitoring, database, and watershed education programs. The Fraser is important because in some way, no matter what you do for a living here, you're connected to the river through the economics of tourism, water that you use, water that you send your kids to school in, to take field trips in. The tourists that come here, because it's a beautiful region and a large part of the beauty is the Fraser River. So they have automatically, by coming here, connected themselves to the river. It ties us all together, a family of the Fraser River Valley.
For me, skiing is a little like flying, you know. I do it because it didn't have wings. I am Liz McEntire, and I won the silver medal in the 1994 Lillehammer Olympics for mogul skiing. I came to the valley in the mid-'80s to go skiing and stayed ever since. Part of our land is high enough so I can look down and see the river, and I go up there quite often to just sort of get my thoughts together. And yesterday there were 3 deer crossing the river and going through the cottonwoods, and you realize how important it is for a wildlife corridor. But it is hard for me to look at the river now and think there's going to be less water in it because of those diversions. There's people fishing and just trees. All of that would go away here, and I think without it, things would unravel. We had a huge building boom, and with building gone, we just have tourism, and tourism does center around our environment, so it's really important to have a healthy environment. They're not going to come if we don't have a river. There's a disconnect between the water users and the resource. That if they were connected to this resource other than by a pipe, they'd rethink how they used their water.
Curry Bechtel from Houston, Texas. I have a place up here in Fraser Valley. Started fishing here about 6 years ago. There's one day that really stands out, and it was with just Terry Peterson and I. I think I caught probably 14 or 15 fish. About an hour into it, Terry looked at me and he said, "Curry, I think you've just broke the code here. You're not going to ever have a day like this." And that's probably true. I've had a lot of wonderful days, but that was probably the most memorable day I've had here on the Fraser.
I'm Ted Davis. I'm a real good friend of several folks who have houses up here on these fly fishing rivers. Then Curry invited me up this weekend. Think of the lives that depend on this. The people that sell fuel, the people that sell flies, all the sporting goods people, the grocery stores. This is a recreational area, and if you take these rivers away, people aren't going to come like they've been.
My name is Jim Gibbs, and I live in Texas. I come here every year to fish the Fraser. A wonderful place. There's a lot of sportsmen in Texas, and we do not have anything like this in our state. We don't have natural rivers, cold water that support any type of trout.
Ooh, look at that, nice fish.
To take something like this and just kill it for water use on the other side of the mountain range doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because if you kill it, highly unlikely you ever get it back.
You can actually get the sounds of the water in your painting. I don't know exactly how that works, but it happens, and it's magical. It's alive. Did you see that? You see it? A trout, a big one, start heading upstream to spawn. They've been jumping all day. It's quite exciting. I'm Karen Vance, and I'm a painter in the Winter Park Fraser Valley. The river is our lifeblood. It's what makes this whole community. You should see the moose in the spring. The babies frolic in the willows just like puppies. And there's beautiful open spaces that just beg to be captured. If the Fraser River were to stop flowing, the community would die. The animals would die. The ranching community would die. We would become a desert. There would be no more life here. There would be no more life here.
I'm Sarah, and I'm just kind of learning about what kind of life goes on here in the river and how it all works.
Hello, I got a frog. My name's Isaac.
The students get so excited on these field trips. It's hands-on. They get to touch things. They get to touch the river and touch rocks and bugs, and they get to understand how those tests relate to the health of the river, what's healthy, what's not.
I'm Ian Carver, and just now we were checking what macroinvertebrates were on the bottom of the river by kicking up silt and other bugs from the rocks into these kick nets, and then we strain them out. Pick up the bugs with tweezers and put them in little ice cube trays filled with water.
So overall, based on the habitat assessment, would you guys say that this was a clean part of the river or not a clean part of the river? Clean. And based on the bugs that we collected, would you say the water was nice, clean water or polluted water? Nice, clean. Okay, so this part of the river is clean, and maybe we can use the cleanliness of this part of the river to set standards for other parts of this river in the same county or in the same watershed. Does that make sense?
A healthy river is important for a lot of the wildlife and for the beauty.
Is our water supply.
And we only have so much water in the world that we have to keep what we have healthy so we don't lose any of it.
One of the kids, as the bus pulled away, told the teacher that this was the best field trip of their life, and that's the kind of experience we want to be able to give them.
There's been big rainbows right off of this side right here where the bubble line is. Yeah. My name's Terry Peterson. I have been a guide for 18 years. I fish through my clients. They're going to be right up against that bank. They're brown trout. They like the overhang of that willow. There you go. There you go. There you go. Come on, come on, come on. Eat it, you chickens. The Fraser River is my backyard. I live about 1.5 miles away. It's a river under siege in terms of water usage and water needs. 6 years ago, we had salmon fly hatch. It's dropped off to the point that I've only found one salmon fly this year. One. The people in the Front Range just don't know what the impacts are. I understand Denver's got to grow. That if more people understood where their water comes from, they would be more than happy to make adjustments. I have a son. He'll be 4 in November. Some days we fish, some days we throw rocks, some days we toss some sticks in their boats. And to think that someday his son may not be able to do that, that's tough. This is my home.